my friend, and welcome. Today, I have an update for you. I have a confession. For those of you that were not aware, I moved from the UK to Germany 4 months ago, and I would like to confess my findings, the highs, the lows, my assumption before arriving in Germany, and my experiences. So, first and foremost, before moving to Germany, my experience with Germany was pretty pleasant. I have been to Germany for holiday 3-4 times, and my general feeling about the country is positive. My thoughts of Germany was that the streets were paved in gold and the economy was fantastic. And my experiences, the reality hit me hard for a few reasons after arriving in Germany for the foreseeable future. And number one was probably the language. The language is medium to hard difficulty, but the problem is I've not studied languages since high school. Most Germans do speak a decent level of English, which is handy at the beginning, but I would advise learning the language and having at least A1 before moving, especially if you're moving alone, as I moved with my partner and I could get away with it because we speak English together. Another experience of mine is the difference in walking the streets from the UK and in comparison to Germany. I feel like in the UK, when you're walking in the street, specifically a quiet street or a park, you tend to walk past people and smile or say hello or something. And I feel like in Germany, the locals are pretty reserved and just like to get on with their day. Another one is dog owners. Dog owners in Germany, I feel, are pretty strict with their dogs. Like, that's just one thing I noticed. Like, they don't really want people to pet their dogs. I feel like their dogs are kept in check. I found that a little bit odd, like compared to the UK, where people like to show off their dogs and they're quite happy to let other people pet their dogs. And I also felt before moving to Germany that this country would be like a paradise for someone who is more on the introvert side, but that feeling wore off pretty fast due to the fact of me feeling pretty isolated. And this is due to me waiting for my visa, as when I first arrived in Germany I didn't have a visa, so it took me like 3 months to get a visa, so 3 months without a job, which was pretty hard going. And that led me to feel pretty isolated. I had my partner, of course, but I didn't have friends to hang out with or go to any activities with, and I started to feel quite low after a while. Since around 1 month ago I received my visa, and I can say I'm now very happy with my position and to be in this beautiful country. Once I started work and I was in a lot more social situations, I felt 100 times better. I think I was getting pretty depressed. I had a lot of time to sit in my own thoughts, and that's the main reason for that one. So now that I'm working and I have a lot of social interactions, I actually don't feel the need to really make friends anymore. I think that's my introvert side again. I think I'm getting enough social interactions now, and bottom line was I just needed to work again and have that social aspect back in my life and have something I was doing every day and being busy. So a little bit of advice: if you're coming to Germany alone, then I would recommend joining some clubs or language course. They do some free language courses in person, and that's also really helped my mental state at the beginning. I think because I had my partner, I also refrained from really trying my hardest to make friends. So I think if you try enough, then you will find some connections pretty fast. I think you just have to put yourself out there. And I think that was probably my problem, that I felt like it wasn't absolutely necessary. But if you come alone, I would definitely recommend putting yourself fully out there. And now for the highs and the lows. I'll start off with the lows. I think probably number one is the bureaucracy. The paperwork, specifically reading the paperwork, navigating it. I think I'm really lucky that I have my partner for this. I'm very grateful. Even even the locals struggle with this. So I think for any expat, this is definitely one of the hardest. Insurance. I think for me, coming from the UK and with the UK citizens having NHS, this one is an obvious kick in the balls. But yeah, I mean, especially when you're not working. I mean, I think that's standard. So, and yeah, honestly, I think the food's pretty basic. I think, yeah, I mean, there's nice bread. Obviously, the sausage is good. I mean, I think, in my opinion anyway, I think the food is pretty basic and it's not something like spectacular. I feel like the bakery in the UK is probably better. Okay, enough negatives. Time to move on to the highs. I would say punctuality is arguably the best thing for me, in my opinion. I think the locals are very punctual. I mean, for me, this comes standard also. It's like a respect thing. I think this is something that everybody should have instilled in their life. Being punctual for friends, for interviews, for work, meetings, yeah, anything in life. I feel like the Germans have this one perfect. The weather, yeah, coming from the UK, I mean, I think the weather is an obvious one, especially in the summer. The weather is a lot nicer here. Yeah, the winter can be bad here also, but I think the fact that the summers are far greater than the UK, then I think we can live with the winters. Yeah, I think another one is what I touched on earlier, like the way of life here. Like I said, I'm a little bit on the introvert side, so I quite like that people here are quite reserved and yeah, just get on with their day, and yeah, I quite like that side of things. Especially now that I'm working, like obviously I touched on it earlier when I wasn't working and it felt isolating, but that was due to personal reasons. I think now that I'm working and I have enough social interactions in my daily life, I think that this suits me. Yeah, this sort of way of life suits me, to be honest. So, and another one I will touch on is quiet time. So on Sundays, basically everything is closed, like all your supermarkets and stuff, besides restaurants and pubs. And another thing I really like is the streets are really quiet. I feel just compared to the UK, obviously maybe depending on where you are in the country, but yeah, I feel like where I am, the streets are just like extremely peaceful, really quiet, especially at certain times of the day. And Sunday quiet time as well, like yeah, there's some rules in some apartment buildings, like you can't work or you can't do any like hoovering, like vacuuming, housework on Sundays, which is a little bit too far in my opinion, but yeah, I do like that aspect. I do like that side of things. With that will conclude today's video. So I just want to thank everyone for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. That was me just touching on my life in Germany, and I will have some follow-up videos with my visa process and some other content about my life in Germany. So I hope you guys stay tuned. Yes, like and subscribe. Love and peace.